You ever have a moment where you realize your vacation is more entertaining than anything you could stream on Netflix? That's exactly what happened to me. I mean, I had just landed in Maui for what was supposed to be 10 days of pure, unfiltered relaxation, beaches and cold drinks and not a care in the world. While back home, my HOA president neighbor was losing her absolute mind because her car was trapped inside my garage. She had no idea I could see every meltdown on my phone 3,000 miles away. I swear I didn't even need beachside cocktails, just watching her scream at my garage door, calling the cops, burning through 3 locksmiths in one day. That was the real show. You know what I mean? There's a special satisfaction when karma's not only served hot, but you get to watch it on demand. So let me rewind and tell you how all this madness started. I'm Connor Walsh, regular guy, fixing computers out of my home office in Maplewood Heights, this quiet little subdivision where supposedly everyone minds their own business. Or so I thought. I'd been there 2 years, got myself a tidy 2-car garage though, since I only owned 1 car. The rest of the space was my workshop, my little sanctuary. Everything was peaceful until one Monday morning I hear this odd rumbling from the garage. I figure, okay, maybe a raccoon got in, but nope. There's a shiny silver Honda Civic parked right in my second bay like it's supposed to be there. I stand there for a solid minute, just blinking at it. Clean car, little stick figure family decal on the back classic. And I have no idea how it got there. So like anyone, I start looking for answers. Most of my neighbors are already at work, except for the older woman across the street out in her garden. I know she lives with her daughter, Deborah Langston, our self-appointed neighborhood royalty, and as I was about to learn, the queen of entitlement. I go over knock on their door. Deborah answers, looking like she just rolled out of bed, arms crossed, sizing me up like I'm already guilty of something. I tell her, "Hey, I think your car might have ended up in my garage by mistake." Not even a flinch. Instead, she steps onto the porch, gives me this smirk and goes, "Honey, I'm HOA president. I know exactly what I can do and where I can park," like she's handing down a royal decree. I try to keep it civil, but it's my property, you know. She just laughs. Actually, laughs at me. Waves this old garage remote she found God knows where and says, "Show me the paperwork that says I can't use unused community space. Until then, I'm parking there." End of discussion. And here's where it clicked: she's using a remote left by the previous owner to sneak into my garage. She's not just entitled, she's basically trespassing with stolen property. Just then, Walter Griggs from next door Sweet Guy comes over. He tries to smooth things over, tells me how Deborah made him tear down his bird fountain last year, the one he'd had for 2 decades, just because it wasn't community standard. Deborah's face turns red and she snaps at Walter. "This doesn't concern you." But the truth is, she'd been making everyone miserable since her divorce, moved back in with her mom, and decided to rule the street with an iron fist. So I head back to my place, already knowing I'm not just dealing with some mix-up. Deborah has set her sights on me, probably thinking I'm an easy target. The next morning, her Honda's still there, but now she's left her trash on my workbench. McDonald's cup, crumpled napkins, the works. To make things even more ridiculous, I open my email to find a message sent to every neighbor in the HOA. Deborah's out here painting me as some antisocial monster hoarding community resources, making the neighborhood unsafe. I'm reading this just shaking my head. So I print out the whole thing, tape it to my garage with a sign, "Community Education Exhibit. Local HOA president demonstrates modern gaslighting techniques. If Deborah wants a public opinion war, I'll play." But I have a better idea brewing. I start researching smart garage systems thanks to my IT background. It's right up my alley. I buy a top-of-the-line smart lock program, it to look normal for a week, then go into full lockdown mode unless I override it myself. Walter hears about my plan and lights up. "You're actually going to lock her car in there," he says, barely keeping a straight face. He tells me how Deborah and her best friend Martha, a local realtor, have everyone tiptoeing around them, afraid to even trim a bush without checking the HOA handbook. Takes me most of the next day to set up the new system. By that evening, it's all ready. Deborah comes home, waltzes right into her garage space, even brings in more of her junk folding chair box as a cooler. She has no idea the system is different. Next thing I know, she's hosting a garage tour for her friends, showing off my workspace like she's the one who owns it. One of her friends. Bless her, actually asks Deborah, isn't this his garage? Deborah just brushes it off. Community property is community property, dear. That night I'm watching her antics through my new security cams. She's moving my stuff, hanging up decorations, totally convinced she's won. But I'm not mad anymore, I'm almost impressed. That's when I decide if she wants the garage so bad, I'll let her have it. For a while. Next morning I start searching vacation deals. Hawaii pops up. I think, why not? I book a luxury resort, 10 days in paradise, with front row seats to Deborah's downfall, all courtesy of my phone. Before I go, I send her an email full of, I'm so sorry you were right. I'll think about my actions. Please use my garage while I'm gone. She eats it up forwards. It to half the neighborhood calls Martha over for a little celebration. I play it up, hand her a fake set of remotes, act all defeated. She throws a party in my garage complete with speeches about proper resource allocation. I'm on the beach in Maui by the next day watching it all play out. Deborah's using my garage for HOA business hosting meetings, bringing in a fridge, a coffee maker. Heck, she even hangs up motivational posters. It's like a sitcom. On day 3, she's giving a community standards workshop at my workbench. On day 6, she's practically living there. But day 7, that's when my new system is set to lock down. I get up early, settle on my balcony with breakfast phone in hand. At 9 a.m. sharp, Deborah rolls up arms full of files and her usual smugness hits the garage remote, nothing. Tries again, still nothing. Manual override, shaking the door, calling Martha for backup. Nada. By noon, they've called 3 different locksmiths. Each one tells them, sorry, I need permission from the actual homeowner. By evening, they're pounding on the door, losing their minds, and I'm watching it all from the pool with a Mai Tai. When I get home, there's a whole crowd waiting. Deborah is in the driveway, surrounded by locksmiths' business cards and what's left of her dignity. She's screaming about how I kidnapped her car, calls me every name in the book. I just smile and say, how was your week? Deborah, get a lot of community organizing done? She loses it. I don't argue, I just stream the security footage right to my outdoor TV so everyone can see how this all went down. There she is breaking in, throwing her party, bragging about community property. One by one, the neighbors start sharing their own stories, fines for garden gnomes, threats over fence colors, you name it. Officer Kessler, who'd been called out, steps up and says, "Ma'am, this is trespassing." Walter, grinning like a kid on Christmas, announces that Deborah's been officially removed as HOA president. The look on her face? Priceless. 2 days later, Channel 7 News shows up. Deborah thinks she's going to spin the story, but once the reporter sees the footage, it's game over. The neighbors speak up, the truth comes out, and Deborah's humiliation is broadcast for the world to see. Within a week, her insurance job suspends her, and the HOA, under Walter's leadership, undoes all her fines, brings back the community garden, and suddenly people are talking to each other again. We throw a huge garage reclamation BBQ, 43 neighbors show up. Even Martha brings brownies and apologizes. Halfway through, Deborah is seen loading a U-Haul, moving out for good, not a single person helping her. Mrs. Peterson wonders aloud where she's going. Walter shrugs, 3 states away apparently. Not our problem anymore. As the sun sets, I get a text from Deborah's ex-husband. Turns out she did the same thing everywhere she lived. Maybe, just maybe, this time she'll learn something. Standing in my garage, surrounded by real neighbors, people laughing, sharing food, planning new workshops, I realize Deborah's power trip is over, and this garage is now a symbol of actual community. 6 months down the line, Walter nominates me for the HOA's Community Service Award. They hang a plaque right where Deborah had her excellence posters. And I think back to that vacation, how sometimes the best way to win is just to outsmart the bully and let karma do the rest. You don't have to be anybody's victim, not when you're willing to fight smart and stand up for yourself. So anyone else out there got an HOA horror story to top mine? Drop it in the comments. Let's see who's had the wildest neighborhood drama. And remember, standing up for yourself isn't just about getting justice. It's about making sure the next person doesn't have to fight the same fight. Catch the next video because trust me, The stories only get crazier from here.